extremely challenging. One needs to be hardworking, network, smart, creative, willing to take risks, and extremely good at managing relations. Entrepreneurship is someone who has a vision for something and want to create. So let's not wait for more to make your ideas take place. Let me introduce you all to Dr. Ved Prakash, a scientist, entrepreneur, philanthropist who always visualizes to create a positive difference in society. Comes from a humble beginning in India, but he worked his way up to finish his PhD from University of Chicago in the field of nanotechnology and its biomedical applications. The interesting part is he completed his education on full scholarship and now currently works as research scientist at University of Texas in Dallas and runs two online businesses, Unius Universal, Genius Universal, and NutriDocs in the field of entrepreneurship, education, and health, respectively. Acropolis wholeheartedly welcomes you, sir. I request you to please take over the session.
All right. Kashish, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just making sure if my audio is proper. All right. And my video is also visible, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. Awesome. So, hello everyone. My name is Ved, and good evening to everybody from India. I believe most of the people are from India. I see a few people from US as well. So my name is Ved, and thank you for the kind introduction, Kashish. I hope, I wish that my mother-in-law would have heard that, so she would be very impressed by that. But jokes apart, today what I'm going to share with you is a little bit about my journey as an entrepreneur, my story, so that you can also derive some inspiration from that. I'm not a motivational speaker, but I inspire other people through my actions. So let me share my screen and let me know once you're able to see my screen. All right.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Give me a second. All right. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Well, awesome. So today, as Kashish mentioned, that we are going to discuss a little bit about exploring entrepreneurship as a career. If somebody has not heard about this word, don't worry about that. Before I got into this direction, I had a very tough time understanding the spelling of this and the meaning of this. But in general, what it means is business ownership or taking charge of something and starting from scratch and making it big. Entrepreneurship comes from the word enterprise. That's what is the meaning of that. And today, what I'm going to share with you is a little bit about my journey, as I told earlier. And to make that happen, I will share with you the outline of today's talk. In the first part, I will basically talk about my journey from where I began and to where I am today and where I'm going. Then also I'll mention about why I chose entrepreneurship, even though I'm a scientist by profession. Then I will talk about kinds of entrepreneurs, idea versus outcome based. Then what does it take to be an entrepreneur? Because a lot of people keep asking me, like, do I need to have an MBA, or do I need to be very creative, or what do I need to do? Then lastly, I will summarize that things and then give you the next steps so that you can take your steps towards that journey. All right. So before I go deeper, what I'm going to do is to share my story with you. So on those lines, I would like to have some interactions here with the people. So if you can have your video all on, if possible, and have some chats ready so that we can have some good interaction here. All right. So first thing is, I don't come from a very high level family or like very blessed background. My father is a motorbike mechanic back in India, and my brother, he's an IITian, by the way, and he used to be an outstanding student. But I used to stand out of the class most of the times because I won't do the homework. I won't be doing that amazing in academics. But I still managed to get my basic education there. And after 10th grade, I was planning to start an electrical shop because my father had a bike mechanic shop. So I thought, okay, on similar lines, something I would do. But I realized that this is my brother helped me realize actually that there's a lot more to life than opening an electrical shop. So I started following his guidance and then continued my journey. So, how many people of you on this call do not come from a very highly privileged background or something like me, like middle class or lower middle class, doesn't matter, who are not privileged? A lot of people, I believe. Nobody is son or daughter of Ambani's, correct? So if you are like that, then there's a hope. Next is I wanted to lead a stress-free and meaningful life. These were the things that I was looking to accomplish. I didn't know how, but I wanted to do that. So this is where my philanthropic nature started beginning to come out. Now, I followed my teachers and parents' advice: go to a good school, get a good degree, get a good job, eventually become a doctor or engineer or something like that. I believe most of you have got the same advice, good similar thing like become a doctor or or engineer. So I don't blame you for having not pursuing entrepreneurship as a career, because nobody in our family has done that most of the times, right? So I worked hard. I asked my parents like, I want to make something useful for society. What should I do? So they said that they have watched several movies in which scientists are the one who make things. So I said, okay, you also become scientist. I became scientist. I worked hard for that. Um, on a consistent basis, daily basis. I didn't study for exams. I studied for myself. That's how I was able to earn the scholarships, because I had the in-depth understanding of a topic. Now, it didn't happen overnight. It took a couple of years of hard work consistently. Uh, Now, I continued my journey in the sort of eyes of society. If you are on a full scholarship from bachelor's degree onwards, you are so-called a rich student, and you'll be feeling like you're on the top of the world. But within, I was starting to feel a little bit uneasiness. Why? Because um, as I was progressing, I was trying to bring my ideas to reality. I had a couple of failed startups also during my undergrad and PhD also, and soon to realize that somebody else was controlling my schedule. My PhD boss was giving me sometimes hard times, that okay, you better come by this time or else you will be out of lab. And then I have to forget my family time, and then recessions do happen and people do lose jobs. So those kinds of scenarios I started seeing around me. And also, I don't know why it is very prevalent in India, but there's lots of political things that happen in the office scenario. I didn't like that. So that started giving me a little bit of stress. How many of you have felt some of at least one of these feelings? At least once, some of them you have felt. So you are not alone. Everybody does feel, however creative or however good you are. Now, it happened that the first mistake that I made in my career was to listen to the people who were not living the life I want to live, which was my parents, my teachers, my friends. They were giving me different kinds of advices. And no wonder I was getting frustrated. It's just like I'm going from, like I believe most of you are from India. In which city you guys are located? Like Indore, or where are you located? Indore. Okay. So if you ask me for advice on how to get to Indore, I have never been to Indore. I will give you all sorts of random advices. It will never work. Correct? And you'll be frustrated, man, like this space scientist guy, he's so knowledgeable and he's giving me these random advices. So that was the first mistake I did in my career. So how did I rectify that? I started listening to people who have the results that I want. So I would say that would be the biggest advice to anyone here. Now, in with regards to my startups, I tried launching a company, Genius, which was in 2015. Idea was very simple. I'm a scientist. I can help somebody else become a scientist. My brother is engineer. Somebody else he can help somebody else become engineer. So very simple and straightforward idea, correct? But and I have so-called a good credibility in marketplace. Uh, and I launched a platform. People said all the best, beta. Very good idea. Amazing, amazing job. Guess how many people signed up when I launched the platform? I had 3,000 Facebook friends that time. Guess? Any idea? You'll be surprised it was zero. Nobody signed up. I only get spam emails from that. So that gave me an idea that it's not just about the idea that is makes the things happen. It's about execution. It's about connecting with people. It's about people skills, leadership skills, uh, vision, and entrepreneurial mindset. Lots of things which I had no clue about. Yes, I was very skilled in science. I was doing my PhD from a top 10 university, but that means that I am skilled only in my field. Entrepreneurship, I'm still a baby. So I need to learn something from people who have done that. This is where I started looking for people who were already ahead of me, just like for science. If I wanted to do PhD in science or amazing research, I cannot do that in my backyard. Correct. Just like for studying, you guys went to a college. You didn't do in your backyard, even though it is locked down right now, but you're still connected to a system like that of high level. Correct. So in similar way, in order to learn about entrepreneurship, I found a successful person through a network of people, and I had to go through lots and lots of people to find somebody who was not necessarily doing what I wanted to do, but was living the life I wanted to live. Uh, I would emphasize that these are two separate things. Doing what I love to do is the path that I want to take. On the other hand, how I want to live is the outcome that it wants I want to produce. So, most of the times, those two may not be aligned. It's just like I love to take a bicycle, and I would love to like go for a ride in the nice weather. But if I want to come from India to America, I cannot take my bicycle. Correct? It's too far away, and I will be setting a global world record. That's amazing, but I don't want to set up that. I want to live my life. I want to spend time with family, travel around the world, and things like that. So the first step would be identifying what you want out of your life, or how would you like to live. For me, I wanted to live a stress-free and meaningful life, and to make that happen, I would like to have some freedom, so that nobody sits on my head and gives me, I would say, lectures. Then second thing would be I want to spend time with family because that's where I derive all my energy from. Next would be travel around the world, explore, meet new people like this. Fortunately, we don't have to travel all around the world to meet each other right now. We can meet each other over the internet, but there are certain possibilities like that. And lastly, utilize all of that knowledge to produce something useful. These were things which were important to me. The moment I was not able to accomplish that, I started feeling frustrated and unhappy. And if we are unhappy, we cannot provide happiness to other people. We cannot give what we don't have. Correct? So it all, if you want to create something useful for society, the first step is creating something useful for yourself, becoming a better version of yourself. Right? Next would be followed those directions, and even though I had no clue about businesses, I had no business doing businesses. I was a hardcore scientist sitting in the dark room building microscopes. But I realized that uh, these people are able to live the life I want to live. For example, my mentor, he started his business at the age of 25, took help of successful people, and was able to, in parallel to his full-time job, build a massive business which could replace his and his wife's job income, and they could walk away from their jobs by age of 32 and 29 and spend full time with family. They have three daughters today. Their kids have never seen them work for somebody else. They have traveled around the world. Just last week, they were in Hawaii with the family on a proper vacation. And lastly, their impact, they have created, I would say, added value to thousands of people's lives all across the globe in 50 plus countries, and guiding them in all aspects of life. So in a way, they had already accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish. So I would say those were my role models, and I worked hard to get their time. And after I gained their mentorship, I started working up as a partner. There's a key factor here is I because I started working as a partner with them, so now they have to teach me everything how to succeed. Because in the conventional world, if I try to do everything by myself, all the best. Nobody's going to teach you how to succeed. If your neighbor starts teaching you how to succeed, who is a successful business owner, you become a competition. So that will never work, and that's why before you go out and do your own thing, work under the guidance or umbrella of somebody like that, so that you can pick up some good points from there about how to live a life yourself, and then teach other people, and meanwhile your business will automatically flourish. And that's what happened, and because of which I could balance my life better, finish my PhD before time. My mentor said that, Ved, you're very creative, but you're stuck in a job. So your first goal should be to become free of the job by creating business systems which can replace your job income so that you become sustainable. And even before that, for most people who are here on the call are students, correct? So I'll talk about that in the last slide, where the first step for any of you would be to start earning. I was always on a scholarship, so I was never dependent upon my parents for basic income. Uh, because if somebody pays us money, they will control our life, correct? So nowadays, with the power of internet, anybody can earn anything, anytime. In fact, my wife, she started her first business at the age of 17. She left her home at the age of 18. She was doing 4 jobs, running her online education company, and doing college also at the same time. If she can do that, anybody else can. And she is no super smart person, I believe. She is equally as good as anyone else. It's like us. So anyway, so following those steps, I was able to manage my life better, and at the same time, my mentors helped me to establish my own company. And a lot of times people say that, oh, to start a company you need a lot of money, you need a lot of network and this and that. I would say that's true if you are establishing a conventional industrial age business. In today's world, you can literally, like, even for coming to America right now on this call, you are here mentally, correct? You don't need a visa. You are here in America through internet. Internet is very, very powerful. So if you can leverage the power of that, you can make a lot of impact. Second thing would be, for doing today's communication, we didn't develop the Google Meet app or the platform, correct? We utilized a pre-existing platform, which saved us a lot of time and energy, and we could get going right away, correct? So entrepreneurship in 21st century doesn't require you to develop a lot of platforms. It's already existing. And that's what I did. And that's how I was able to start my first company while doing full-time PhD without having to get into any kind of debt, and working with successful people to establish my own online company, which could start uh, growing in multiple countries with time. And currently, that company is running in USA, India, and Australia, and it is expanding into other countries also. So I would say that I am not that amazing person. I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants. I received the knowledge from right people, and in my opinion, the definition of luck is labor under correct knowledge. So if you can make that work for yourself, that will be awesome. So being said that, uh, I believe that everybody has got the seeds of greatness within them. If I can do it, anybody else can. How many of you believe that? Do you feel the same? At least little bit, 1%. I told you that I don't come from amazing families, simple family, correct? So that's the whole goal of today's call, that if even one person can get impacted by this call, if you can pick up even one point from here, my job is done, right? Awesome. So what I will do now is to go into my slides to briefly show you what mentorship can do for you if you listen to the right people. Okay. All right. So are you able to see my screen? Can you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So this is the power of written goals. So as I spoke to my mentors, the cool thing about them is that they already have a very well planned way of living life. Um, and people ask me like, how the heck did you come up with your entire life vision board? So I say simple. When you want to get corona, what do you do? hang around people who have got corona, correct? In the same way, if you want to learn about how to dream, hang around dreamers. Choose your friends wisely. Don't hang around people who are just doing time pass and just talking about other people on their back. I made sure all the time that I hang around the right set of people and always strive to hang around better quality people. And with the power of internet, if Vinod can reach out to me, anybody else can. And same for you can reach out to anybody in the globe. And so following those people's knowledge and advice, I started observing how do I want to live my ideal life? If I had all the money and all the time, what would I do differently, which I cannot do today? So I said, I've seen lots and lots of ideas among the students, and I also had a lot of ideas, but it never became a reality. So I want to someday start a incubator where people can come in with an idea and come out with a finished product. But that requires a lot of time and money, which I didn't have. So to backtrack that, I started focusing upon how can I make things happen at an earlier stage. For example, I set a goal in 2015, following my mentor's advice, that by December 2017, I'll wrap up my PhD. Then I worked hard, and every day I would look at it. And lo and behold, 2 days before my deadline, I was able to wrap up my PhD. So did that happen out of magic? No. I was looking at it every day, and my subconscious mind was training me to think differently every day so that I can make this result happen. Similarly, when I was looking for a job position, I knew that if I find a high paying job, then it will take away a lot of time and flexibility from me. So I would rather find a position which is a little low engaging. That doesn't mean that I don't perform well at my job. I give my best there. I focus upon personal development. I add value in the form which nobody else can. And as a result, I do pretty well there. But at the same time, I focus upon bigger things about life, which I have already clearly written here with dates, right? So I started looking for a job exactly where I want by when, and one day before the date, I was able to find that. Now, you might be thinking, where you are so amazing person, you are able to make this happen. I'm not even able to follow my calendar for the day. Forget about setting goals like this. Well, these are success stories. Underneath that, there are hundreds of failure stories. I wanted to be a successful entrepreneur a long time ago, but I'm still in the journey. Correct. So the main theme is you set a goal, you make things happen as much as possible. If it doesn't work, no problem. You fix it and you try again. For example, when you are learning how to bicycle, then I'm pretty sure that you might have fallen a lot of times. But if you do not give up, you'll be able to make things happen. The main theme here is every seed has got a potential, but until it is planted in the right environment with the help of a farmer, the seed cannot become a tree. But the moment the tree starts growing up, because it is in the right environment, it can start producing fruits. So what I would suggest again here is find people who are dreamers, who are living the life that you want to live, be around them. It will do a lot of beautiful things like it has happened to me. And it doesn't mean that you will someday suddenly find that people. It's a progressive journey. My teachers played some role to get to a certain level. My PhD guide played certain role to get to a certain level. My entrepreneurship mentors are currently helping me to get to a certain level. And with time, I will find more and more people who are better than me. I have to earn it step by step. Right? So takeaways from my story are the following. Number one, your background doesn't matter. Where you come from doesn't matter. Where you are going is what matters. Next is scholarship. I studied consistently to explore and not for exam. You might have watched the movie Three Idiots. I think it was released in 2010 or something like that, where Mr. Funsuk Wangdu was doing the same thing. That he was not studying for exams, he was studying for excellence. Correct? So if you do same thing, then you will have these things. Next is I would listen to the people who have produced the fruits that I want. I have lots of relatives. Even my brother, he is a top-notch graduate and he works as a senior data scientist. But he has not produced the results that I want. While I was doing my PhD, while building business, I was looking to gain access to a lot of people. For example, MBA professors. A lot of them, some of them have got businesses, then I might listen to them. But most of them, if they don't have a business, why should I listen to them? It's just like the Indore example that I gave. Like if I want to come to Indore, I will take advices from you guys because you have been there. I have never been there, correct? Uh, so choose wisely on whom you listen to. Uh, Next would be learn before you implement. Yes, we can burn our hands by putting our hands onto the stove, but there is a better way. You can ask somebody who has burnt his hand, like I have done a lot of times. And I am also learning from other people, correct? Like attend a lot of webinars like these and speak to lots of people. And with time start learning in while shadowing them. There's a reason why uh, medical professionals are recommended to first of all work in under the guidance of a doctor in the field and then eventually practice their medicine because they should not be doing experiments on people. Same way entrepreneurship. Here also you are building an organization and you should not be experimenting on people's lives just like that, correct? It's a responsibility of other people. So the right way to do that would be to be under the mentorship of successful people, learn on the field, and then continue to implement and become a better version of yourself and eventually branch out someday. And lastly, if you speak it, you can have it. If you speak, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that, that will become a reality. But if you speak, I can do it, no questions about that, I will find the people whom I want to hang around with. I will make this happen. My dream is going to become a reality, no questions about that. If you have that speech pattern, then there is hope for you. So now question is why I chose entrepreneurship? Why not anything else? I was doing PhD from a good university, have patents and publications. So why entrepreneurship? First thing is in the world of any academic career or corporate career, the challenge is there is a glass ceiling a lot of times. Howsoever amazing I am, my progression depends upon somebody else. Somebody else controls how much I earn, when do I come to office, and things like that. Next is uh, I've also heard a lot of people complaining about discrimination that female people don't get enough opportunities. Black people have got this, or different kinds of discrimination that physically disabled people cannot be doing this kind of job and things like that, or age, religion, all sorts of things. Entrepreneurship doesn't care about that. What matters here is, do you have a dream and do you have the guts to succeed? If yes, you can make it happen. Of course, there will be lots of obstacles, but the cool thing about entrepreneurs is that they do complain, but they also come up with a solution because they're always solution oriented. In times they will be problem oriented once in a while, but they always strive to be in this zone. And as a result, other people want to depend upon them, and that's how they become employees to them. Um, and one quick question: how many people know that? Like, do you know who invented the electric bulb?
Yes, very much.
Who invented
Sir,
Edison?
Thomas Alva Edison.
Edison. Yes.
Okay, do a little bit research. Okay,
Okay.
Edison didn't invent the electric bulb. He is the one
Patent
who,
is.
no,
Yes. Then.
electric bulb was invented 100 years before Thomas Alva Edison. Okay,
Okay.
he is the one who identified that there's a demand in the market. He commercialized it. He created a network so that it can be scaled up and provided electricity and electric bulb to the society. So, in a way, he was not the inventor. He was a person of a business who could scale it up. And people don't even know who is the inventor of this electric bulb. I had to do a lot of research to find out the person. Okay. So basically, if there's a demand, you create a supply using your business, and then you create a job market also at the same time. So if you want to create legacy, just by coming up with idea is not enough. You need to create a system by which you can add value to large audience. And that is how the company called General Electric was founded, which is still existing. It is 100 years already into existence. Uh, Next is uh, with regards to income streams. So, in the real world, what I have also observed is in my job, this is how we are taught to live. Uh, Go to a good school, get a good degree, get a good job. Our skill set is this bucket. Water is the money, job is the pond. You carry that every day. If you need more water, get a bigger bucket, bachelor's, master's, PhD. If that is not sufficient, get two buckets, two jobs. If that is not sufficient, marry somebody who also has a bucket. Correct? Now, on those lines, uh, if I may ask you, like, actually, how do you get water at your home? Do you carry a bucket every day or you have pipeline systems? I believe pipeline systems, correct? So if you can think about water this way, how about money? Thomas Alva Edison created a pipeline 100 years ago. It is still producing water for him, even though he's long time ago dead. Correct? So if you can be in entrepreneurship field, there is a way to create pipeline systems for generations, right? And lastly, and most importantly, in your car, you have a stepney, a backup. Where is a backup for job? For life insurance, we have where is job insurance? And 30, 40 years ago, there used to be a trend where you would join the same company and retire from the same company. Nowadays, if you join a company, you don't even know whether that company will exist after 2 years, right? Because the market keeps changing, technology keeps changing very rapidly. So in this current, and especially after pandemic, I would say 1/3 of the businesses are not even starting back up. Correct? So it makes sense to have multiple streams of income. Don't just depend upon one bucket or else you'll die out of thirst. Have multiple buckets, multiple pipelines, so that uh, money becomes like water or air to breathe. Uh, right now, as I'm speaking, did you think about air to breathe from past half an hour? No, right? It is available in plenty. But the moment it is not there, then you start thinking, oh my God, where is air to breathe? Correct? So if you want to do creative thinking, you need to have some basics. Without that, it will be very difficult to work on any creative idea like this. And it also requires power and money and things like that. Now, what is entrepreneurship for everyone? Things that don't matter is, like I mentioned earlier, age, sex, religion, nationality, skin color, looks. So many things. People think that, oh, it's all about looks. If you are famous because of that, physical disability, economic status, location, physical build, IQ, MBA, none of that is required. What is required is personal development, patience, long-term thinking, consistency, and all of these behaviors. And most of these behaviors can be developed if you hang around people who have done that. I didn't have that. I was not born as an entrepreneur. I learned that. It's a skill, correct? If you can learn how to use Google Meet, you can learn how to do business. That's how. I'm overstating the example here, but it is possible if you have consistency and persistence. But of course, it is not for everybody because these characteristics are a little rare. Not everybody has got the patience to make this happen. So if you are a person who just want the result right now, employment category is better for you because this one requires long-term thinking. And the cool thing is, the bottom of the pyramid is in the job world is the place where you would need most of the technical skills. Okay, but as you go higher and more soft skills are required to go to the top. Okay, as you become the chief level, C-level person in the company, more and more leadership skills are required. So why not better learn it? In fact, I was able to find the job in which I am right now without any recommendation letter. I didn't know anybody here, but I was still able to find that because of these skills, networking, people skills, and things like that. So to summarize, I talked about passion versus outcome, where you can either do what you love or you can do what produces what you love. And of course, there'll be a spectrum. You will be lying somewhere in between. Goal is to shift from the passion direction to outcome direction initially. And eventually, once you have enough money and time, then okay, you can do anything. For example, my mentor, after retiring from his job, at the age of 32. He did two undergrads. One was in philosophy, another was into, I think, economics. Nobody cares, right? Like he can do anything he chooses to. Next is, any driven individual can be an entrepreneur. It's not for the privileged people. It can be anyone. In fact, 70% of the entrepreneurs in America who are millionaires, they are first generation, meaning their forefathers were not successful people. Next is, entrepreneurship is just like education, any educational degree. If you work hard under the right guidance and with patience and prioritization, like for example, while pursuing your undergrad, for 4 years, you are not going to make any money. But you know the long-term thinking that after 4 years, once I graduate, I will be able to find a job. Correct? So same is true for entrepreneurship also. So the next steps for you would be, first thing would be reading a good personal development book. This book will suggest you a lot of core values or principles that makes any company successful. It's not about the app or the idea or the platform that makes a company successful. It's the central core theme. It's a myth in the entrepreneurship world that you have to come with an amazing idea. I used to be following those myths also. But then I realized I was thinking from a customer perspective. I believe Steve Jobs is not the person who came up with the idea of iPhone. Correct? He was surrounded by people who were very creative people like yourself and who were working hard under his umbrella to create iPhone, iPad, and many other amazing devices. So if you learn the right principles, then you'll be able to attract high quality people, and then they will do the task. In fact, there are two ways to run businesses. One way is to run as you are the central person. You are the amazing idea guy, and you hire smart people to make them work on your idea. In my opinion, that's a very limited way of running a business. I'm at least proud of you for doing something, but if you want to make it big, then that is not the way to go. The way to go would be, you don't become the smartest person. You become a good person who can attract high quality people who are smarter than you and work with them. And as a result, they will be putting in their best effort to bring out the best in the entire organization. So this book will share a story about a hardworking person like any of you. His name is Joe. He's trying to create some sales in a company and does his best, but nothing very significant. And that's when one of his friend connects him to a successful person called Pindar, who teaches him different principles, like the law of value, which says that you give more value than you take in terms of payment. That is exact principle which I implemented in my job interview, and I got the offer next day. They look for just a scientist who can train people on how to use a microscope and take care of the basic facility. I told them that I am a scientist. I can do scientific consulting for you. At the same time, I can run the business facility like a business, and I can do the marketing and advertising for you. I got the offer next day, and I continue to add more and more value there. So similarly, there are 5 principles in the book, which will give you a good perspective about how does a CEO think, from shifting from a salesperson to a CEO. So if you feel that your values align with the things that are mentioned in the book, then entrepreneurship might be for you. But if they don't align, don't worry about entrepreneurship. Yeah, you are good where you are. Next is, as I mentioned earlier, make sure that your plan A is settled. Don't jump into business unless your primary career is settled. Because if you don't do that, you'll be in a big trouble, because financial stability matters. If you are not able to make that work for your primary income, then you'll be dependent upon other people. And again, once you depend upon other people, then they will start controlling you. Correct? And next is, like today, you are here to listen to me so that you can pick up some good points from here. Same way, attend multiple webinars, pick up some good connections over the LinkedIn and different kinds of social media platform, professional networks, and ask them good questions like, can you please tell me a little bit more about how you went there? What did you do to get there? and somebody would respond. Not everybody is going to respond, but it's just like farming. You throw 100 seeds, 1 or 2 plants will grow up. So continue to speak to lots of people. And like today, Vinod spoke to me. I am pretty sure that I am not the only person he reached out to you. There are multiple people. So same way, you will need to be a little persistent there. And lastly, if you feel that I can be of more value add, and uh, you would like to speak to me more about like how can you become an entrepreneur, and you have made sure that this part is taken care of, at least your plan A, and now you want to build a plan B with me, then I would be open to hearing your story and your journey. And depending upon your uh, values and your persistence, and through examples and whatever things that you want to accomplish, I might be able to connect to people whom I know. uh, uh, there could be somebody, if I am not able to help you directly, then there will be somebody else who can help you out. So that's all from my side. And I believe these are the questions that people asked me before this webinar. So I just make sure that I have answered all of them. So which career mistakes did I make? Listen to the wrong people. Best career advice, listen to the right people. Then how did you get education on full scholarship? Watch Three Idiots. What made you philanthropist? I love that, gives me happiness. What is the main inspiration behind your hard work? Well, I want to create a difference in this world, so I don't give up on my dreams. The only word which is not in my dictionary is the word quit. So I constantly work towards that. Then what is the biggest challenge achieving in this success is patience. It takes patience, lots of patience. Then what was the first win? I showed you like uh, the first win was basically getting access to high quality people. Second win was seeing a positive difference within me gradually, and then of course in real world tangible results, finishing PhD before time, able to start my company and things like that. Then what research did you do to prepare? Lots of information interviews, lots of talking to people, so that I could find who I am actually, and what is the outcome that I would like to produce. Then how do you avoid being complacent? So it's just like if you take a piece of cold coal and throw it in the oven, what happens? It also starts burning. Now you take out the same coal and keep it outside. What happens to it? It cools down, correct? So the way to stay hot is to be around hot people. So I hang around people who are going ahead in life. So automatically I become an average of them. And how do you set yourself apart from people? Soft skills, to be honest. Only 15% of technical skills is what matters in the real world. The rest is all people skills and leadership skills, 85%. And vision and many other things. Okay. So with that, I come to the end of my webinar, and I see that a few people raised their hands, and also some people had questions. You can feel free to take a screenshot of this so that you can reach out to me on any of these platforms. I will keep it on for a few seconds and then we'll stop the share. But meanwhile, if anybody else has any questions, they can feel free to ask. Okay.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, so I'm currently in 10th grade and I aspire to be an entrepreneur. But
Okay.
is it a good idea for me to go all out on entrepreneurship? I do come from a fairly privileged family, so there's no financial pressure on me. So is it a good idea to pursue entrepreneurship, the plan A?
I would not recommend that based upon my experience. It's just like entrepreneurship is just like being independent. Okay. Like when you are a kid, I believe you are dependent upon your parents, correct?
Yeah.
So why is it so? Because you are not able to earn by yourself, correct? So employment is just like being dependent upon somebody else's shoulders until you become independent. All right. And eventually you become interdependent by creating a network of high quality people whom you want to hang around with and build a future with. So what I would suggest is continue your education. It does give a very good exposure. It also gives you a lot of good friends and future partners also, and at the same time financial stability. Uh, this way your plan A is taken care of. And once your plan A is sustainable, at least 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees, or some basic income, so that you are able to sustain. At the same time, in India, you mentioned that you're in the 10th grade, correct? So, uh, yes, you can definitely start a business, but a lot of legal things will start coming into picture, because in India, especially, they say that you need to be 18 and above to do anything significant. So what I would suggest is, yes, you can attend webinars like these, try small things at your home. For example, when I was at your age, I used to have a kitchen, laboratory in my terrace, small laboratory where I would make soap and different kinds of chemicals and things like that. I would do all kinds of jugaad to make things happen. But I didn't give up. And I got into NICER Bhubaneswar for my undergrad. I see one person from there, Kishore. Nice to meet you today. And I was there. I had a laboratory in my kitchen there, and also I took help of the local system there to start building things there. So this way, I was able to start getting some experience, and eventually, in middle of my PhD, when I got the right exposure, I was able to start my company by myself. But again, I was not. I didn't leave the job world right away. I continue to build my business to the level where my business income is a lot more than my job income, and I have enough bank balance. And then I will enter the field of entrepreneurship fully. Until then, I would suggest can continue to practice and try many things, but keep your plan A as plan A. That would be your highest priority. Anything beyond than that, just like in our childhood days, right? People say, "पढ़ाई लिखाई कर लो बेटा, फिर खेलना." There's a reason. First study and then play, because playing doesn't give you money, right?
Oh,
So
thanks.
yes. So first study and make that really good, and your parents themselves will be the most supportive people. In fact, I vividly remember I wanted to do a lot of things on my terrace. My parents were like, "All these things you are doing, you're not studying." I said, "Okay, I will study." I worked hard, and then I got into my college. And my father was the one who said that, okay, today I will take you to the tools shop and we'll get all the tools for you. Okay, the same person who was stopping me is the person who started supporting me. Okay, so if you give what they want, you will get what you want. I hope I clarified your question.
Okay, thank you. And if you don't mind me asking another question, my dad is an entrepreneur, but he works in a very conventional, he runs a very conventional business. So, how can I try to get involved in all these. Uh, I try to ask him how the ways of running a business are and all of that. So, do you how can I get the necessary knowledge to innovate and change the way the
Mhm.
business is currently running?
Correct. So that's a very good question. What do you think is the answer?
I seriously have no idea because this is an industry which has been reluctant to change for
Uh-huh.
the past quite quite a lot of decades now.
Yeah. By the way, you are practicing the answer right away, right now, by asking me question. Okay. So simple thing is that, like, if you don't know exactly what to do, you ask people who have done that, correct?
Yep.
So
But I
same
don't
thing.
see a lot of construction companies who innovated in the past few years.
Yes, not yet. If you look hard enough, you will find people, because if you can, people can find God, then finding a construction company who can innovate in the online world is pretty easy. Okay, a lot of construction companies in America, they all are virtual, and there are enough resources available. So I would suggest continue looking hard for that, and the reason why if it is hard for you to look for, that means it's a worthwhile project to pursue. Because if it is so hard, that means most people have not done that. So it's an opportunity. So other people who look at the same thing and they will say that, oh my God, there is no resource available. I would say, thank God, no resource is available. I have some place where I can add some value. Correct?
Yep.
So,
Thanks a lot.
so yeah, so it's all about how we look at the things.
Uh,
Awesome. That was a good question. Yeah. Yeah, hi
Sir,
Neha.
good evening. This is Neha Sharma.
Hi.
I just want to address Abhinandan with your permission.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm a faculty over here in Acropolis. After listening Abhinandan's confusion, I just want to say, Abhinandan, can you listen to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can contact Vinod over here. We are having a specific cell, which is Family Managed Business, FMB. Fine.
Okay.
Over there, we help people, those who are having their business background, in running it in a different way or with a different exposure. Fine. So if your dad isn't into a conventional business, they will tell you how to innovate in that. Fine.
Okay.
See,
Yeah.
you got the answer
Vinod is there.
right here. I didn't have to go over. Continue
Yeah.
for sharing that.
The-
Yeah.
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 We always say students, if you are having a background of your business, and if it is like you are the second generation business fellow or third generation business fellow in your family, continue with it with a different approach. That's what we want.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the right
Yeah.
way to do it. And it all aligns with whatever I mentioned earlier. Work with somebody
Yes.
established and then learn exactly what is happening there, and then you start innovating. I didn't come.
There are multiple examples we can found in Indore also. If Abhinandan would be in Indore, हम बता सकते हैं उसको. So there are many fellows. मतलब we are having an outlet called Apna Sweets. They were into milk and sweets from generations, but now they are
Mhm.
having 8 chain stores.
Mhm.
Fine, in
Yeah.
Indore and Ujjain and Devas. So this is what they are doing. They are doing their core business, their family business only, their conventional idea. Fine, telling that कि तुम भी मिठाई वाले थे और तुम्हारा फादर भी मिठाई वाला था और तुम्हारा दादा भी मिठाई वाला था. But they are earning in multiple. I can say that. Fine.
Good.
So Abhinandan can be with us
Yeah.
with all these things.
Absolutely. There are ample opportunities, as you can see, and for all the people here that all you have to do is to ask. If you ask the enough people, you will get the answers. Awesome. All right. Somebody.
Hello, sir. This is Shahina Qureshi. Actually, I have one question because this question have been asked many a time. My student has asked this question that how to develop entrepreneurial mindset. Actually, they are thinking about job because the entire education system is just like that. That you are prepared. This education industry is preparing them for the job. So they always ask me a question that how to develop this entrepreneurial mindset because they all are aware about this because it has challenges. So how to develop this entrepreneurial mindset as per your experience?
Yeah. So if you observe my story, I didn't have any background or experience in that field, but I hung around people tight and always looked for entrepreneurs and look for opportunities in which I can work under their mentorship or guidance. And as I spent more time with them on the field, working on their ideas and their projects and added value to that, meanwhile, they started adding value back to me. And key idea here is that I was not working as an employee under them. I was working as a partner in some format, at least doing some level of business level decisions with them to start with. So the way to learn that would be to work in partnership with entrepreneurs. That's the only way, in my opinion, because just by reading books, attending courses, and getting certifications, yes, I can get a lot of theoretical knowledge, but unless I have learned something from the people who have done the things on the field, uh, that knowledge will not be of much use because it's all theory. Correct? Because in theory, uh, a lot of things look so amazing, but when it comes to practical implementation, a lot of other factors start coming into picture, which is never taught in the business schools. Correct? So,
Right.
so I would suggest finding people who are open to be partners with you and start learning from them, and of course, make sure that the person that you're partnering with has values which align with your values, or else it will be a very, very frustrating scenario.
Right. It means that you need to surround people of the same mindset. Then only you will be able to be like them.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, and that's the reason why people go to colleges, right? Because there are people who are better than them in that education field, correct? So
Right.
that you can pick up
Right.
some knowledge. So same is true in the
Yes.
business world also.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's a very good question, by the way. Awesome. Anybody else? Any question before we wrap up? All right. So,
If somebody is there who have any questions, so please, they can unmute their mic and say.
okay. So counting 5 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Abhinandan is
excuse me. I'm sorry to create an annoyance by asking questions again and again. But it's okay if we, in order for financial stability, we create a passive income source instead of working a job so
okay.
that it gives us more flexibility. So which is preferred, a
Mhm.
job or passive income source?
First, basic income, because it's just like while if you are going to live in a village, it takes a little while to build that pipeline, correct?
Yeah.
On the day you arrive, you will need to carry a bucket, go to the pond and get some water so that you can start drinking. And eventually you will build a pipeline by taking help of expert plumber, not doing it by yourself, correct?
Yep.
So on the same lines, I would say one is not better than other. They both have their own value. One is very quick and short term, another is very long term. So both are needed, but in a sequential order. And if you choose to carry bucket after that for building body, no problem. You can have some fun there carrying bucket after the pipeline is built.
Okay, fine.
But by the way, no question is a bad question. The question which is not asked is a bad question. Only answers can be bad or stupid. All right. So should I again count till 5 or? Okay. Awesome. So I don't see anyone else, so thank you for the opportunity for me to share my knowledge here. And it was very engaging audience, and I liked it. So with that, over to you, Kashish.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a great and a very insightful session. Thank you so much for joining us. I would like to invite Vinod, sir, Vinod Kumawat, IIC leader at Entrepreneurship Development Cell, for presenting a thank you note.
Thank you, Kashish. This session was truly a remarkable event. On behalf of Entrepreneurship Development Cell of Acropolis Institute, I, Vinod Kumawat, Clicks and IIC leader at eCell, consider it my honor to present a vote of thanks to Dr. Ved Prakash, who has taken some time from his very busy schedule to guide our student about entrepreneurship. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. So at last, I just want to add that ideas are easy, but implementation is hard. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much, Kashish.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Awesome. Have a nice evening to you. Okay? Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, sir. I thank our audience for being with us. I truly believe that this session was helpful for everyone. Also, do not forget to fill the attendance and feedback form. Your feedbacks help us to bring such a sessions for you. Link is in the chat box. Thank you and have a joyful eve and night. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Vinod.
you all.
It was a pleasure.
Nice
It was a
session and
pleasure.
also. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank you, Bhamna.
Congratulations, team.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
she was Bhavna ma'am from BSc Computer Science. She was an entrepreneurship cell leader
Yeah,
for.
yes, ma'am.
Vinod knows me.
Yes, ma'am.
But anyway,
And
Vinod,
presence of Neha ma'am is really,
Yes.
very nice. Make session interactive.
I don't know.
Always.
Like that.
yes, thank you so
Neha
much,
ma'am
Neha
always
ma'am.
rocks.
Yes, Neha ma'am always rocks and make session interactive.
Yes.
No, it's not like that. You people rock. That's why I am here. Fine. So we'll be meeting on
Thank you,
Monday.
Neha ma'am.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank
Take
you,
care
Yes,
all.
thank you so much, ma'am.
Ah,
Vinod,
thank you, ma'am.
Kashish, and the entire team. Very good efforts and very wonderful session.
Yes,
Kudos
you,
to the
ma'am.
team.
session was really very wonderful और आपकी मेहनत रंग लाई ऐसा हो.
Thank you, Bhavna ma'am.
सही बात है, सबके मेहनत रंग लाई है.
Thank
Right.
you.
Okay, then we have a tea party on Monday, right? We are going to have a tea party on Monday. नहीं पर कैसे
Yeah,
लेंगे?
ma'am.
कॉलेज बंद है.
वर्चुअल की पार्टी हो जाएगी.
Virtual tea party, we can plan out virtual tea party.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Take care.